Oh, hi! Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tina, also known as Little T, and I just had this blueberry muffin here getting ready to take a great big bite because I've just been really hungry for some sugar. Yes, I confess, sugar has made its way back into my life with a vengeance. And this isn't probably the healthiest choice I could make, especially because I used a cake mix to make this particular blueberry muffin. I didn't add any sugar to it, but there was plenty of sugar in the cake mix. The rest of the muffin's pretty healthy, has fresh blueberries in it and some whole wheat flour. I actually put some whole wheat flour in there too. No animal products, but anyway, I've just been craving sweets. I don't know about you. Have you ever gotten off sweets to find them slowly creeping their way back into your life? Yes, that has happened to me more than once, and I'm here to confess that sugar is back in my life. I want to show you all the things that are in my house that have been tempting me and figure out a plan to reduce my intake of sugar. Now, I'm not going to totally get rid of it. That's pretty much impossible these days in our sweeten-laden world, but I am going to try and get back to the basics with little to no sugar each day. So for now, I'm not going to eat this muffin, especially since I already had one today. Oops. Join me as we look at some of the products that I've taken out of my refrigerator, out of the cabinets behind me, and out of the drawers that are creeping their way back into my life, and let's see what I can do about it to make an improvement in my overall diet and get back to a less sugar-filled way of eating. Let's go. First, let's take at some of the liquids that have come back into my diet that are contributing to my sugar intake, and some of that has to do with the coffee I drink each day. I have gone from having coffee with frothed milk to coffee with no milk to coffee with sugar in it to coffee with being just black, and now I'm back to coffee with sugar and a plant-based creamer in it. So let's see what I've been putting in my coffee that's probably not the healthiest. First, I found these really yummy syrups at the store. I've got caramel and I've got vanilla, and they are just pretty much just plain sugar. I didn't go for the sugar-free kind because I really don't want to put any more chemicals in my body, but yes, sugar's at the root of these two tasty syrups. I have some agave syrup here and also some maple syrup. These two are less processed and probably better for me than some just plain white sugar. I have some molasses here, and molasses is not very processed. It's also not open, so I haven't even been using it. I'm not sure I would ever add it to my coffee, but I've used it in baked goods before, especially when I've made like pumpkin muffins or gingerbread, things like that. When I make my power balls, I've used the agave that I showed you and the maple syrup, and I've also used just plain corn syrup. Now, this isn't high fructose corn syrup, but it is corn syrup, and it's probably not the healthiest for me. So then we have just plain old white sugar. I once read in a book that things that were produced down to a white powder, such as white sugar and white flour, and there was another one, I can't remember what it was. Oh, things that I don't use at all, cocaine and heroin. But anything that goes down just to a white powder like this has been super processed, and it's just going to not add anything healthy to my diet. Just calories, no nutrition. Here we have powdered sugar rolled up in a package, used for making frosting and things like that. It's sugar and cornstarch and the brown sugar, which is white sugar that's had molasses added to it to give it the brown color. These are raw sugar cubes. I use those in my coffee sometimes when I don't use a liquid. We were talking about liquids and I went over to the regular sugars, but still, sugar is sugar. I have these stevia packets. They're made from stevia, and I think they have erythritol in it. Yes, 2 ingredients, erythritol and stevia. These are handy to carry around with you if you need a little packet of a sugar substitute. I use these sometimes. This is the creamer that I just recently bought. It's oat milk, non-dairy creamer, sweet cream flavor. It's not just the oat milk. It's got cane sugar, it has oil in it. It's got things in it that are probably not the best for me, but it sure does taste good in my coffee. So that's my recent dive into more sweetened coffee. I don't know if you've seen these in the store. Armor Lights, these again are sweetened with erythritol. They are light, they don't have sugar in them, 0 sugar. Again, probably better for me just to drink some water. I was drinking some diet pop recently. I've gotten completely off pop before, back on the pop, but I've gone this whole week without any pop. We still have it in the house. Brian likes to drink it. We've both kind of been back on the soda train. And here's some pineapple juice. Sometimes I have different kinds of juices. I'm not really a fan of orange juice, but cranberry juice, pineapple juice, and you know, juices don't have any added sugar, but it's not the same as eating the pineapple. It'd be best if I'd eat pineapple, and maybe pineapple in a can that's made with juice would be the next best. But pineapple juice, it's just going to go straight into my bloodstream because it's easily digested. It doesn't have any of the fiber left in it that the actual fruit does. Now we'll get into the little snacks that have been in the house. Graham crackers, not the worst of the worst. Recently I found these in the store. Fruze balls. We tried the peanut butter and jelly flavor and loved them, so I thought, well, why not get one that has chocolate in it? It's chocolate hazelnut, not knowing that my husband hates hazelnut. He thought something was wrong with it and actually spit it out when he tried one. But they're very similar to power balls that I make. They're quite small. They are sweetened with, let's see, dates. That's it. Dates, peanuts, hazelnuts, coconut, raw cacao, pink salt, and natural flavor. This actually is not a bad snack. Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of the hazelnut either though, so I may give this to some neighbors. Jelly that can go on our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It says reduced sugar fruit spread. It's got 3 fruits in it. But guess what the first ingredient is? Sugar! If it's reduced, how can it still be first? Because if it's the first ingredient, it's in there the most. After sugar is water. Then strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. Sugar is the first ingredient, even though it's a reduced sugar product. Does that make sense to you? Recently, we've discovered Bobos. And Bobos are, again, they're a plant-based snack. Let's see what's in here. First ingredient, whole grain. Whole grain rolled oats, second ingredient. Cane sugar, then brown rice syrup, which is another form of sugar, then rice syrup, and then peanut butter. So it's got 3 sugars in it after the whole grains. The Bobos, these are peanut butter chocolate chip flavored, whole grain oats, brown rice syrup, and then coconut oil, then cane sugar, and then chocolate chips, which also the first ingredient in the chocolate chips is sugar. And then guess what happened this weekend? If I can get this container open. I made cookie dough. We've been eating on the cookie dough. It does have brown sugar and white sugar in it. 1 cup altogether, half a cup of each. And chocolate chips. They are dark chocolate chips, but they are chocolate chips nevertheless. Now all these things have kind of been swirling around in my blood system, giving me energy, but also adding a few extra pounds if I have to be honest. And I know it's not just the sugar-laden things, it's also calories in, calories out. I'm obviously eating more calories than I'm using calories up, so I need to watch that, and this is not helping. All this stuff back here is not helping. But here's some things I do have in the house, I am actually proud to say, that can actually enhance maybe some water that I'm drinking. I've got lemons and limes. I can add that to my water. Actually in the fridge there's a cucumber. I could add that to my water too. These are more common, what I would put in my water to give it some flavor. Oranges. Oranges are sweet. You compare an orange to something like this, it's not going to taste as sweet. Orange or a muffin, my palate is going to want the muffin. This is actually way better for me. It's got fiber, it hydrates you, it's got a lot of water in it. I've got gigantic apples. Bananas, this one is really quite soft right here. Easily put in the freezer and use it in smoothies. I've got frozen fruit. It's just fruit, no sugar added. And I have blueberries. And one more thing, I'll show you if I can get in the refrigerator. Look out, I don't knock you over. And these are drinks. It's just sparkling water, no sweetener added. And that's what I can add lemon, lime, or orange juice to. Something that will make my mouth happy, but not add any sugar to my diet. Oh, I forgot one thing. Dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is actually not that bad of a snack for you, and this is 72% dark chocolate, which is dark. There are much darker chocolates, but a bite of dark chocolate, if Brian and I were to share this, if we can share without you know, wanting our own, then that would not be a horrible snack to have in that. But I do have this fruit. I can make fruit smoothies with it as long as I don't add too much juice. Perhaps add some almond milk or some water to liquefy it, and have my peanut butter on bread. I buy the peanut butter that doesn't have any sugar in it. It's just peanuts, sometimes peanuts and salt. There are solutions to this, and what I've got to do first is just cut back. The first place I'll cut back is the baked goods and the cookie dough, the snacky snack stuff that's easier for me to give up. The last thing for me to give up probably is the sweetener in my coffee. It's not an easy task. It keeps creeping back in. It's just natural for my body to crave sugar. Our brains run on glucose. Our bodies do break down everything we eat down into glucose so that our brains can use it, but I don't need to eat the actual sugar form. I need to eat things like whole grains, fruits and vegetables that also provide the glucose for my brain, but it has the fiber, the vitamins, nutrients, the phytochemicals, and all those plants. I'm on a journey. Come and join me if you are having the same issue with sugar in your life, and leave a comment down below to let me know what your strategies are for getting that sugar out of your life. I've done a fast before. That's one way I've done it. 3 weeks off of sugar totally, and it wasn't as hard as I thought it was. When I have an end in sight, like 21 days, then I can do it. And I kept it up for a while, but it crept back into my life, and that's what sugar naturally does with me. I've always had a sweet tooth, and it's just something I have to keep up with. I have to be diligent, I have to be intentional, and I have to make good choices. Those are good lessons for life. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and like I said, leave a comment down below on how you deal with that sugar monster that always wants to creep back into our lives. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.